Ray, does being a member of this Hall of Fame cap off a career?
It certainly does, Pete. What amazes me is the fact that many of the guys that are in the Hall with me I was a fan of theirs. Then I raced with them and got into the Hall. It's just a real honor to be in there.
One of the unique things about you is when you started right out of college. Do you ever figure that lack of time, that 4 years that you were in college rather than racing, did that hurt you?
Absolutely, Pete. And you look today at kids, they start 8 years old, 6 years old, they race quarter midgets, they go mini sprints, and these kids are turning into real race drivers. And of course, I was 23 when I started, and it obviously hurt a little bit, and it took me a while to catch up. But I feel, once I got in for a few years, I was competitive.
Yeah. The guys you raced against, you were part of that 60s era. Will we ever have that again, right? Will we ever have those kind of fields? You and Richie and Bugsy and Cleary and Virgin, will we ever have those again?
Well, to me, Pete, those guys were the best. Leo, Bugsy, Gene Bergen, Eddie Flemke, Ronnie Bouchard, Jeffrey Bodine, Richie Evans. I mean, you name those guys. To me, they were the best. But if you ask a competitor today who was the best, obviously he's going to pick today's generation. But these guys were tough competitors, raced hard, and good clean driving. It was a good racing club. I look to those guys. I feel they're the stars of the century.
Is there any wins that stand out? You've had quite a few. Are there wins that stand out in your career?
Well, a few. Obviously, the Thompson 300, beating Jeffrey Bodine with passing him with about 20 to go, was a highlight of my career. I did have 3 Ferrari 100s in a row. 80, 81, and 82 were big wins. And then, of course, at Waterford, when the modified tour had just started, I got a tour here win in 1985 with Billy Simons. That probably topped my career, Pete.
And you drove for some great owners.
I drove for great owners. Billy Simons, Guy Swetlin, Billy Myers, Mike Gricci, who's down south now. He's making big name for himself. The no-style racing, starting with him when he was just a teenager. I mean, drove for great guys.
While you were racing, you were also building a very successful career as a businessman in the corporate world. Was that difficult?
I'm proud to say, Pete, as much as I raced, and quite frankly, back in our heyday, we were running 4 nights a week. We'd run the All-Star Circuit on Wednesday night, run Friday Malta. Stafford at that time was Saturday nights, Sunday run Thompson, as many as 4 nights a week. And quite frankly, I never missed a day of work at Pratt Whitney Aircraft for the sake of racing. Even the one time I did get an injury, I was lucky enough to be at my 2-week shutdown period and was able to recuperate. So I never had a problem balancing the corporate world with my racing career.
And your corporate experience ended well, and your racing world ended in a Hall of Fame. That's pretty impressive.
Well, it is, Pete. I had a real good career at Pratt Whitney, and being a member of the Hall of Fame just capped the career. I feel that I'm very successful, very proud, and I love getting together with all the guys I run against. And today's function at New London Waterford Speedbowl is just a great day, Pete.
Talking about old timers, your dad was probably one of the most, at least for a brief period, one of the most famous midget owners in the heyday of the midgets.
Well, as growing up as a young fella, 7, 8 years old, they were on ARDC midgets in their heyday in the 48, 49, 50 time period. They were racing as many times as 7 nights a week, and they had a midget offie, a Curtis Craft offie that raced New York, Long Island, up to Massachusetts, New York State, and I loved thinking of those memories of the midget offie.
And you're also proud that it's 3 generations of racers coming out of the same garage.
Well, it is, and we have. My dad raced out of the garage with his midget. My career was there in East Granby, and Jason, my son, who runs SK here at Waterford, and he also runs at Waterford Speedway. It's a 3rd generation racer.
Do you have memories of those midgets?
Oh, I certainly do, Pete, and I can remember going to Cherry Park, West Haven, Danbury Fairgrounds, West Springfield Century Stadium, Lonsdale, Rhode Island. I do have memories. They're vague memories, but yet they are memories of that time period.
Is that a part of your becoming a racer?
Well, I think it was. I mean, I can remember Burt Brooks coming to our farm. Burt Brooks drove for my dad for a little bit, and he gave me a pair of goggles, and I used to wear those goggles on my little scooter and race around the farm, and I honestly think that was where it started.
But you were able to put it to rest for until you...
Well, in 1986, I had raced for 23 years. My career had crested. I had my day. I had my wins, and felt I was successful, and I just felt it was time to step away, and quite honestly, in '86 I stepped away and never looked back.